while you're eating this incredible dinner tonight. But, and we'll deal with that in a few minutes. First of all, ask your question forms. Matt, do you have one? So we have, a debate with the viewer center them. So, is everybody listening today?
Is anybody listening to him?
Please, I know that it's very difficult to have me up here while you're enjoying this amazing dinner, but bear with me because we have a lot to talk about. So, once again, ask your question forms. Matt Epstein will be collecting them. They're on your table, and there's more at the front table. Okay? Matt, you control the noise back there, please. Okay. I really have some important things to tell you, so I need your attention. Okay? And I'm not going to talk unless I get absolutely quiet, Matt. All right? Is the sound coming out?
No, it's not coming out. We're working on it. I got staff on it.
All right. That's better, I think. Can you hear me all right?
No, we need this.
Okay. I want to tell you about something that's very interesting. If you'll permit me the time. I don't really think I'm getting everybody's attention. Yeah. Please, 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 everybody in the back. Chuck, you need to keep everybody quiet in the back. Please keep everybody quiet in the back. All right? Can't hear me. Marshall, they can't hear me on the side.
No, I got that.
Oh, he's working on it.
That's why I'm over here.
All right. Yeah, I'll do the best I can. There was a recent article, please, a recent article in the Automobile Club magazine that if you haven't read it, I think you'll be very interested in what it has to say. It has to do with broken parking meters. Now, I know we've all been through broken parking meters and we don't know whether to put money in it. Whoops. And if you don't, you wind up getting a ticket. And we've all been through that. Right, Mike?
Right.
Okay. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this to you because this should be interesting to all of you that park at broken parking meters. This takes place January of 2013. And it's a new law that was sponsored by the Auto Club, which takes effect then. It prohibits law enforcement from issuing parking tickets to vehicles parked at broken meters up to the posted time limits. It goes on from there, but that's the gist of it. So if you go to a broken parking meter, they cannot give you a ticket. That's as of January 2013. So if you're Auto Club members and you do get the magazine, it's in the magazine. Anyway, I hope you like that information.
Good.
So, yes, sir.
If it's 1 hour parking, can you park? You can't park longer than
Up to an hour. That's it. 2 hour parking, up to 2 hours. All right. We had. Is anybody here from Tom LaBonge's office? No? Nobody. Well, let me tell you something that happened. Last Friday. You know the Lorena Theater, and you know the median that's at the Lorena Theater, which has been a mess, disgusting, with plants that haven't been watered. They all died. and it was really sad to see this. Tom Lavange, his Chief of Field Operations, who is Dave Ahern, went there Friday morning with a truck and two of his associates, and they worked all day pulling out everything from that median, except the palm trees that are there. I mean, this was a mess. If you've seen it before, you'll understand what I'm saying. And they're going to go back and groom it in preparation for the upcoming street fair. You all know about the street fair. Does anybody not know about it? Next Sunday, this Sunday, street fair, Sherman Oaks Street Fair. Great. We will have a booth there, SOHA, booth 155 in the same place we're always at. Come by and say hello. We would love to see you. On your table, I left you a schedule, the orange brochure from the Van Nuys Sherman Oaks Recreation Center. This is the fall booklet. Very interesting. Take it home with you, look at it. I think there's one or two seniors here that would enjoy reading it. Also, on your table is a light green flyer, and it says, "We need to stop the destruction of our beautiful trees." Do you all see that? It's all it's on the table, so if you need an extra copy of it, it's back on the table. What it basically is, two businesses. One was a gym, or is a gym. Shh, please. One is a gym near the Handy J Car Wash, who decided to have two mature, beautiful ginkgo trees that are very expensive that we planted 15 years ago. He decided to hire somebody, and if you look at the picture, it doesn't do it any justice because the trees are basically ruined. They will never grow back properly. They will have to be replaced. And he's going to be responsible for doing that. Also, and it's sad, and the reason he did it because people couldn't see his sign. And those trees are not invasive to the businesses to begin with. And the picture on the bottom is a brand new building that was just recently completed. It's an office and retail building just to the west of Stanley's, a half a block. Brand new building. It's not even occupied yet, but there are signs there saying rented, I guess. And he decided to have 4 or 5 of the trees in the front also decimated, if you look at the picture. So I put on this the name of the people responsible. And if you feel about your trees the way I do, you ought to call them and let them know. And tell them how you feel about what they did. Because it's got to stop. Any questions about that? All right. I'd like to ask Tom Sater up here, please. Tom is with St. Francis, this sales choir. He comes here every year to talk about it, and it's my pleasure to have him speak again.
Thank you. My name is Thomas Safer, and I sing with St. Francis de Sales Parish Choir. And as you might see on the tables, I have passed out flyers for our upcoming concert. We're singing Requiem in C minor by Johann Michael Haydn. It will be on November 10th at 7 p.m. And tickets are $15 each, or we have a special deal, 4 tickets for $50, and you also going to have 2 names of loved ones remembered in the program and announced at the beginning of the program. So I encourage you all to come. We'll have a full orchestra. It'll be definitely a wonderful experience if you make it. Thank you.
Okay. Now we have something really exciting to talk about. How am I doing, Mike? Just all right? All right, it's on. Trader Joe's. Could you believe the spread of food that they brought? Amazing. So, if it would be possible, Stella, where is Stella? Could you come up with your staff maybe, and we can all take a group picture up here?
They're still serving.
If you haven't gotten your dinner and desserts yet, you better get up there quickly because we're going to shut it down.
There's plenty of food if anyone wants seconds. There's plenty to go up there. Take desserts home.
All right. This young lady here,
Yeah.
Stella, is the captain of Trader Joe's on Hazeltine. Captain meaning the store manager, I guess. And, you know, that store is very special. The store has won the regional or
Company. It's
chain-wide.
Yeah.
Chain-wide store of the year. Is that correct?
Last year and then
Last year?
Top food.
How do you like that? What do you think of that? Even though it's hard to get in there and everything else, they crank out a great amount of food. You've had a great taste of it tonight. I know that. Some of the things that I've never had before, pumpkin cheesecake, which was good. So,
It's our 40th anniversary next year.
wait a minute, Stella, say something.
It's not my 40th anniversary.
It's that store's been there since 1973, so 2013 will be the 40th anniversary. That Trader Joe's was one of the original top 10 Trader Joe's. We now have 360 stores, over 360 stores, and if it wasn't for the support of this community, the company would not have grown into what it was. So I really want to thank the Sherman Oaks community for supporting that store for 40 years. So thank you.
I want you to know, I do that single-handedly. Let's take a picture.
We met the original founder of Trader Joe's. Went to an opera panel in somebody's house, and I said, whose house is this? And I said, whatever. It's sold a long time ago. Pretty house it has to be.
I need to be Francine.
So once again, thank you all for the support in the community, and we look forward to the next 2 months. Should be great. That parking lot, yeah.
So listen, could we get like special parking privileges for SOHA? You have like a valet that will park our cars for us?
I don't even have a parking space.
My gosh, I think what you should do is open up at 7:30 for the SOHA members. How's that?
I don't think we could. That'd be a great idea.
Okay.
I'll think about it. I'll work on it.
Stella, thank you. She just came back from Spain a couple days ago on vacation. Thank you very, very much.
Thank
All
you,
of you.
and thank all of you.
Okay. I believe we have a very important elected official here. Anybody see Mike Fiore around? Come on, Mike. I go back with this man over 15 years, maybe more. Yeah, maybe close to 20. I used to volunteer for him when he was a councilman at his office. Mike Fiore.
Jules, thank you so much. By the way, I've given Jules awards here because it's hard to imagine a member of the community who cares more, who devotes himself more fully just to making sure that his neighbors are doing well. And it's really cool, Jules, I have to say. He's a real example, isn't he, for how all of us can be better members of the community. And that deserves applause. So I actually came, as you know, just to say hi. But I'll be here in a debate next month because, well, I'm turned out of office as your representative in the State Assembly, hence the debate tonight. I'll be running to be your city attorney in March, 4 months from now. And we'll be, that's a good applause line, that's good. Yeah. So I will be here next month, sitting right here, debating the incumbent, Carmen Trutanich. So I'm looking forward to that debate very much. But for tonight, I just want to say this, and I'll say it next month, and it'll be poignant because I'll only have 2 more weeks to go. It has been such a privilege to work with you and to represent you. You know, I've had that chance on the city council, I've had that chance in the state legislature, and it's been a treasure for me. So tonight, no long speeches from me. I just wanted to be here to remind you that it's a real honor to serve you every day. So now, Jules, this is the moment in the program, I think, if this were a TV show, some director would be going like this, because we're waiting for our debate to happen for a few minutes, right?
We are.
Yeah, so I don't have anything else that needs to be said. I'm happy to answer a question or two while we're waiting. All right, I will relax a little bit and give the podium back to Jules. I'll hang around, I'll be here. Jules?
Jules, remind everybody next meeting is on the 2nd.
Okay, right. By the way, very, very important. The next SOHA meeting is going to be 1 week earlier in November. It's on your flyers. It's all over. So if you come here on the 3rd Wednesday of next month, nobody's going to be here because it's too close to Thanksgiving, and that's why we moved it up 1 week. So please, please make a note of it. Excuse me. Matt?
What?
Thank you very much. By the way, if you haven't been to that beautiful event at St. Francis de Sales, you owe it to yourself to go to it. You've got the flyers. Think about it. All right. Thank you. What? Where did I do that?
I'll show
Okay.
somebody.
No, I'm not ready for this yet. You know what? Okay.
Jeff was here.
Jeff, where's Jeff? Jeff Evanstein. Jeff Evanstein used to be one of the field deputies for Paul Koretz. He still is. That's when we were in Council District 5. Now he's just a good friend. Here, say hello.
Hi everybody, how are you? I'm Jeff Evanstein. I'm also Vice President of the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council. And Jules and I team up to find all the neighborhood service items that we can help out with in Sherman Oaks. If you see a pothole, a broken sidewalk, a tree that needs to be trimmed, basic city services that maybe have flown under the radar, Jules and I are always on the hunt. So just email Jules or myself and we'll help get that taken care of. A lot of illegal signs on Ventura Boulevard lately. Those A-frame plastic signs that they put out in front of their establishments, illegal against the Ventura specific plan. So we're going to do a sweep with street use enforcement, the city agency, and get rid of all those illegal banners and signs. So if there's any particular address that you can find, let us know and we'll get that taken care of. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good to see you. Okay, is Glenn Luty here from Martin Outdoor Media? All right, takes care of that. Now, okay, Matt has a few things to say.
Okay. We have a few other folks that want to come up here and say a few words. Tamara from the City Attorney's Office, our neighborhood prosecutor. And then after her, Ron Carter. Ron is Senior Lead Officer for the good part of Sherman Oaks.
He's really good.
No comment on that.
Send him an email today. He replied right
You just dissed half of Sherman. Hi everybody, I'm Tamara Gallatin. I am the neighborhood prosecutor for Van Nuys Division. I'll just be really quick. Most of my time right now in this area is spent on two different kinds of things. I'm prosecuting some mobile billboard cases that are really, most of the billboards are in the Studio City and Sherman Oaks Valley Village area. So that is taking up a lot of my time. And I'm also doing a lot of cases of people misusing disabled placards to park at meters all day and take up a lot of valuable street parking. Most of the time the placard is either a family member's placard or sometimes it is a complete stranger's placard. So I am prosecuting a lot of those cases in the area as well. And then next month my boss will be here, so he'll fill you in, I'm sure, on everything that's going on about medical marijuana and all the other exciting things happening in the city. So thank you. Turn over to Ron.
Wait, before you turn over, can I ask you a question?
You can always ask. Yes.
Tamara, have you been contacted by Ron Lorenzen about these trees?
No.
You will be.
Okay. They know where to find me.
When you said you're going to be here next month with your boss, your current boss or your future boss?
And with that, yes.
Yeah. That's fine.
Good evening.
Keep that up, man.
Wasn't that food good? I haven't tried it yet, but it really smelled wonderful. I'm only going to take about a minute because our brand new area captain, Captain Ivan Minsel, is here, and he's the guest speaker, as you know. And I'm going to leave the crime issues to my boss. He's very well versed in what's happening. I want to talk about just one quick subject, only because it's a little bit off the beaten path, where these predators live, off the beaten path. Had about 3 or 4 calls and emails regarding coyotes. And so I just real briefly want to address the group so that you can spread the word. And I put several handouts in the back, but I can email to you if there aren't enough there. Basically, there have been coyotes seen, and what I'm hearing is that folks are watching them and wondering what to do about them, and they're calling the police. Well, first of all, we can't shoot them. Obviously, if they're attacking you or one of your animals, and we happen to be there, we might be able to take action then. But they cannot be injured, they cannot be relocated, and they cannot be trapped except by the animal wildlife specialist. The brochure, the handout that I have, was put together by Officer Randall. He is the only animal specialist in the city of Los Angeles, but he's an expert. What he's told me is this, and I went home last night, and as I'm unlocking my door, I looked up and there's a raccoon staring down from my roof looking at me. And I did what I was told to do, make a lot of noise, and he kept on looking down at me. Raccoons are a little bit different. They don't take to your aggressiveness, but they can be aggressive. But coyotes, just so you know, in all of the recorded history of California, there have only been approximately 300 attacks. And generally it's when they are with their cubs. They are loners. They are the smallest breed of coyotes on the west coast here. As they interbreed going eastbound, they get bigger, much larger. So we have the smallest. They're loners. What we're told to do is don't be aggressive with them as far as approaching them, but from a distance, grab pots and pans, a bullhorn, whistles, make a lot of noise. They are timid. But if you let them continue to walk down your streets and not make noise, they will get comfortable and they will come back. So again, if there's anything that you don't know, it's a quick question I may not be able to answer, but...
I sent an email to about the air horn on the iPhone.
Oh, the air horn. Yes, thank you for doing that. I didn't know. Jane sent an email saying that you could actually, there's an application on your iPhones that you can set up for an air horn.
Oh, that's going to scare a lot of them.
Make a lot of noise, scare them away, and do not approach them. That's pretty much it. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. You want to talk about that? No, come here. No,
Okay, I can do that. Hi I'm on the third runner-up there for the SP, but I want to talk about coyotes. I live in an area that's inundated with coyotes. I live up in the foothills of the Antelope Valley. And a couple of things you need to know. They're animals and they're hungry. They're thirsty. So you can't leave, they can't go out in the garage, or they can't go out in the backyard or in the front yard or a water bowl, because they'll come and take care of that water, do that food. And at the same time, they may look at our furry little kids. So do not leave an opportunity for them to come to your home, because if they sense food, they're creatures of habit, they'll come back to where until the food runs out. So remember, do not leave cat food, dog food out, water, cover up your trash, kind of think of like a bear. They smell it, they're going to come back. They're creatures of habit, habit-based resistance. So do not leave any of that out there, and the coyotes will just get out of the neighborhood because there's nothing there to eat. That's the big thing. It's the only reason they come down. If they get displaced by us, but for the most part, they're out looking for food.
Great, thank you. That's our new captain, by the way. He's going to be back in a couple minutes and tell us a little bit about himself. We have a couple board members that want to give some reports. Bob Anderson, Marshall Long, and then Elke. You guys want to come on up here? Let's hear it for our board.
Well, I hope everyone had a slightly quieter Carmageddon 2 with no helicopter noise. We didn't have any at our house, and we live pretty close. We can thank Congressman Berman and Assemblyman Fuhr and Supervisor Yaroslavsky. Congressman Berman held a press conference a few days before Carmageddon 2 and challenged the pilots he says, you keep telling me you want to self-regulate, here's your big test. Why don't you be quiet this weekend? And it worked. They got together, they pooled their resources into one media helicopter, so instead of having 6 or 7 up there, there was only 1. And it was really quiet. Now the study that Congressman Berman got the FAA to do is underway. They're meeting with the pilots at the end of this month, and they're setting up a citizens advisory committee. I plan to participate on that along with about 10 other people so that we can see if we can get something to stop the helicopter noise in Los Angeles. So, yes ma'am.
Several nights ago, there was a helicopter flying overhead in the east. It woke me up at 3:45, and it ran to 4:45, and I might have fallen back to sleep. But it went on and on and on at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Keep these things written down, and my email is in the newsletter. Send me the incidents, because then I can forward them to the FAA. We're making them keep a file. So if you're bothered by a helicopter at 4 a.m. or 2 in the afternoon or something, let me know, and I keep a log so that we can say to the FAA, hey, here's 20 cases where they goofed, and they're not doing what they said.
What's your email?
It's bobhillsideordinance@roadrunner.com. Bob Hillside Ordinance @roadrunner.com.
Thank you. Marshall Long? Is this it?
We're going to wait till Matt does his civic duty and leaves, so that he can't be influenced by my...
I'm making the same that Peter got, so.
Okay, some things have come up that were kind of a surprise. The first was a new parking ordinance, which kind of by the time we got aware of it had been passed by the city council. It allows for the reduction and increase, but I would imagine you wouldn't get any increases in the parking requirements for special districts, which can be designated under certain conditions. And these districts can be a couple of blocks long or up as much as 5 acres. And they allow the decrease in the number of allowed parking places if there are other parking places available within 1,500 feet of the district, which is a long ways. It's about 1/3 of a mile. So it seems kind of a large loophole to allow less and less parking to be made available in some of these developments. IBT, for example, is 5 acres. So I don't know whether it's going to apply to them or not, but probably. The second thing is that the Metro is working on the East San Fernando Valley Transit Corridor study. There are brochures on the table over here. They're trying to figure out how to develop mass transit in the valley, mainly north-south. And the two corridors they're looking at are Sepulveda and Van Nuys, or both. And they're looking at a number of alternatives, which include basically 4 different forms of rapid transit buses and 2 versions of light rail. I don't see any mention of subways, which, although they're expensive, I think would take the traffic and put it underground so that that the mass transit wouldn't have to run on the same street as all the cars. So I've left some comment sheets that I downloaded on the table, and it also shows the various routes and alternatives that they're considering. Then the other thing I wanted to mention is that with the decrease in parking, the assurance is that it will have to be passed by the Planning Commission and the City Council. Now, as you may recall from last month, we found that the reports of the Planning Commission will be written by developers and then presented as their own work. So this doesn't give us a lot of confidence that the rules will be followed. The other thing is the street fair this weekend is a lot of fun. I hope you all can come down and make it. We're going to have the booth, as Jules says, 155, and we'll have petitions on various ongoing projects. The IVT project, I've left a petition to be signed over on the table, and we'll have copies at the fair, so I hope everybody can make it. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Marshall. I have great news. David won over Goliath. It is just unbelievable. I've mentioned before the trail in Franklin Canyon, which is southwest of Mulholland and Coldwater, across from the Tree People. A well-known, I'm better reading my own stuff here, a well-known developer of mega mansions, Mohammed Hadid, had acquired control of 90 acres on top of Hastain Trail. People who've been hiking that trail for years banded together under the tenacious leadership of Alan Paul, searched and found legacy hikers, hired in an excellent and dedicated lawyer, and took Hadid to court. This is a man who has developed Ritz-Carlton's, major resort facilities, and major mega mansions in the Beverly Hills area. We also found an ally in the Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority who participated in the lawsuit. Today, we got the good news that the judge ruled in favor of the public, granting us continuing easement of public recreation to the trail leading all the way to the top. If you have a chance, go up there. On a clear day, you can see from the snow-capped mountains all the way to the Channel Islands. And the right of the public to enjoy that view has been maintained. 7 days in court. So now the Mountains and Recreation Authorities will get to maintain the trail. as well as all of Franklin Canyon and most of the Santa Monica Mountains. Because their funding from Measure A, which was put in place by the voters 20 years ago, is about to expire, MRCA is asking those people who live in the hillsides to support Measure HH, which adds a mere $24 to our annual tax bill. I understand some people are not so happy with the original Measure A, how it got passed. And some people do not like the director of MRCA, especially Mr. McIntyre of the Daily News, seems to have some kind of personal vendetta, a personal grudge against Joe Edmiston of the MRCA. As far as I can see, the MRCA has done a fantastic job maintaining our hillsides. And because Joe does not kiss McIntyre's feet, in my thinking, we should not withhold funding from the MRCA. As a person, not as a SOHA board member, I encourage you to vote yes on Measure H to allow the Conservancy to continue maintaining our hills. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Jules, did you have an announcement? Okay. Actually, I have one of them. Barbara Lewis. Barbara Lewis has a quick announcement. And then Jules, why don't you make your announcement while we're waiting for Barbara to come on
Well, I
up?
wanted to find out if Anna from the patch is here. Anna? Has she come by? Anna? Anybody from the patch? Anna?
Okay, while Anna's coming up, Barbara?
How many of you have registered for the Great California Shakeout? How many of you know what it is? Okay, well, all of you should register. Hopefully you will. This is taking place on 10/18 at 10:18 a.m. That is October 18th at 10:18 tomorrow. And what they're asking everybody is that you register at shakeout.org, and then at 10:18 tomorrow, you drop, cover, and hold. And it's worldwide participation in emergency preparedness specifically for earthquake. So if you could register, I think it's a great idea, and please be prepared. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Jules?
Okay, I believe that most of you have computers, and if you do, you see the daily patch, the patch, Sherman Oaks patch. If you don't, you should, because it's just got a tremendous amount of information about what's going on in Sherman Oaks. And I believe the patch is a nationwide source, is that correct? I'd like Anna, who is with this Encino patch, to say just a few words about the patch.
Thank you, that's a surprise. Thank you for the plug. I'm the editor of Encino, Tarzana Patch, but I'm also doing some work with Sherman Oaks Patch. You may have met my colleague Brantley, who is also working with Sherman Oaks Patch. And my colleague Mike Zemansky, who covers the Studio City Patch. So if you have any story tips or news tips, you can send it to, I think it's at the top of the website, but ShermanOaks@patch.com, something like that. Or to me, Anna.King@patch.com, and it will get to all three of us. So anything you want to have covered, that would be lovely. And we're looking for news all the time, so don't be shy. Please send it along. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, before we get into the new captain, the captain can make his way up. Captain, come on up. Are there any elected folks that are running for any elected office that want to say a couple words? Come on up. And then the captain's going to be up here. Just really quickly. Sure. 30 seconds. That's who you are and what you're running for.
Oh, sure. I'm going to leave some flyers. Kerry Braisman. Kerry like Kerry Grant, Braisman like Braisman. I'm the guy that brought to light earlier this year the problems with fire department emergency response in the city. All the articles that you see in the paper, the stuff you see on television, I shine the light on as an independent watchdog. I'm already working for you as the next city controller of Los Angeles, running against double-dipping Dennis Zine, Dennis the Menace, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to leave you some literature, and I look forward to being back after the first of the year and hopefully having a debate right here in Sherman Oaks.
Terrific, thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Any folks that are field representatives from any offices? No? Okay.
Hi folks, my name is Greg Smith. I am an attorney. I'm running for the office of city attorney. I work for the Police Protective League. I represent officers. And I got to tell you, I was raised in the Valley. I know this area very well. Went to Walter Reed Junior High School, North Hollywood High School. Lived in Woodland Hills most of my life. So very happy to be here. You'll be hearing more about me in the future, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Raphael Bernardino, and I'm a police commissioner. And the reason the mayor appointed me is because I live in Sherman Oaks. And I've lived in Sherman Oaks for about 20 years now. So you're my home group, and I hope you'll feel that with me on the board, that I'm going to give the Valley a little more representation than it's received the last couple of years. And for certain, I'm going to make sure Sherman Oaks is well looked after. I hope that each of you will feel free to come downtown to our meetings that are held on Tuesdays at 9:30. Feel free to make any comments. And for myself, I'm on the LAPD website under police commissioners. If there's something in our community that you think we need to know about, I'm sure Captain Vincent is going to tell you more about all the ways that you can be involved and all the ways that the department can make Sherman Oaks and make the quality of life here continue to be good like we enjoy it. But if there's anything that you'd like to tell me, please feel free to email me, feel free to call me. As I tell everyone at the department, my doors are always open and my cell phone is always on.
Great.
I'll give you my email address very quickly. My personal email address is R, as in Ralph, RXB797@AOL.com. And of course, you can also find my link on the LAPD website. Okay, so it's good to see my friends and neighbors. I'm so happy to see all of you here tonight. Captain Vincent is a great captain, and we're really looking forward to him here. He's one of the first people I met when I came on board 2 months ago, and I think you're going to enjoy what he has to say. So anyways,
Thank you, Commissioner.
See you soon.
All right, thank you. All right. Captain? Welcome to Sherman Oaks.
Thank you. Where do we want to do this? Okay. You know, after eating all that great food from Trader Joe's, I need to sit.
Sit down.
Thank you. Hey, Jules, nice to see you. You know, I'm no stranger to this board and this community. When I worked traffic, you had me as a guest speaker many times to talk about traffic stuff, and still, drive safe. It's important. A couple things is your new area CEO I'd like to share with you. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ivan Mintzel. I've got 31 years with the department. I lived in the San Fernando Valley, mostly on the east side, most of my life. I currently live now in the Antelope Valley. I have family that lives in this valley, a couple of sisters and brothers and nieces and nephews and all that stuff. And so the San Fernando Valley is my home. I used to drive up and down Van Nuys Boulevard when I was a kid, and that was the hot thing to do. I worked at the Broadway at Roscoe and Van Nuys. I worked at the Sherman Oaks when it used to be called the Broadway, the Galleria there, Riverside. But a couple of things I want to share with all of you is where Sherman Oaks is when it comes to crime, public safety, and your Van Nuys area where it's at when it comes to crime and public safety. Now, I'm not going to tell you everything's great because that would not be true. But what I need from all of you, and I need all of you to help me. I really need your help. This is an age, as you know, the city has got some budget challenges. But really, this doesn't cost you anything as an individual, but will save you tons of grief and tons of money. I need you to be more aware of your surroundings. I need you not to be a victim. So a couple of things I want to share with you. The #1 crime here in the Sherman Oaks area is property crime. So I need you to reach out to your friends, your family, yourselves, anybody around you, your neighbors, people at work, school, and share a couple things with you. Property crime is killing us. It's killing us as individuals. We lose precious items. It puts blight in our neighborhood. It destroys our quality of life here. And this is what I'm talking about. Grand Theft Auto, or GTA, police talk, is actually on a decrease. We're actually doing really well, so we're protecting our cars really well. But we're not protecting the things we leave in our car. We're not protecting the things we leave in our home. How many of you have businesses out there, or friends or family that have a business here in the Sherman Oaks community? Okay, a couple. And is it a retail, sir? Is it a retail store?
No.
Okay. Well, our retail neighbors are facing a lot of crime. We get the shoplifters. But more importantly, you as the public, the Sherman Oaks residents, are losing a lot of your stuff. You've seen me do this many times. Hey, we all have one of these, right? And we can't live without it now, right? We go, how did we ever get along without this? Well, I need all of you to be a little bit more focused on tracking it. We lose a lot of phones. And with the phones, because it all has our life on it, we lose valuable pictures, our personal information, so we're victims of identity theft. The phone pops up on strange places, and the police come and knock on your door. So we need to watch our phones. How many got the iPad or the new tablet? Oh, a couple of you. Odd item, really cool. Got some neat stuff. Very valuable, right? 500 bucks. Isn't that correct? Right around there. More, 600 if you got the 3 or 4. So if you got the whiz bang stuff, 32 gigabytes, you're probably looking at close to $1,000 by the time you get done dressing it up. A lot of money, great piece of machinery. I'm not an Apple endorser. I just know I have one I use. But it's very valuable. It's also very valuable on the open market to sell. Personal theft and other is on the rise. So I need you to remember when you go to Starbucks, remember where you put your phone. Don't leave it on the counter when you're going to put cream and sugar in your coffee. I need you to not leave things in your car when you go shopping at the mall. I need you to lock it. I need you to hide it, and you can keep it. You've all heard me say that before. So I need you to talk about that. Our personal theft, and I'm going to read you some true accounts here. So you don't think I'm making this up, but this is just stuff that affects all of you. Ron Carter put this together for us, and I told him I'd do it. This is October 2nd, 2012, 9 Adam 89's basic car, Ron Carter's car, right? Okay. Somebody left golf clubs in their car, $2,300 theft. Clothing and bags, $1,500. GPS, how many got GPS in the car? Checks, man, we don't know what that is. A calculator, $1,700. Boy, that sure could count. California driver's license, identity theft. Valuable piece of information for those who steal our identity. Cell phone was $500. $75 sunglasses. A laptop, $1,700. Medication, expensive and critical to our personal being. How are they doing this? Employees in a store. Purse left in an unlocked employee area. So we have internal theft. Computer equipment left in an open office to the public employees. We're not tracking our personal items. A box computer, how many do this? UPS, FedEx, and all the others. We get something delivered and they leave it on our porch. I see a couple of heads nodding here. Box computer left on porch for 2 hours, stolen. iPhone left on the counter of a bank. Absent-minded, forgetful, it came back and it's gone. Identity theft, a couple of victims on a couple of streets here. It's not important where the streets are, but it could happen to all of us. Residential burglaries, which are increasing, so we need to protect each other. Rear door left unlocked. You think that's so basic, but you know, we gotta go back and double check. If you start to walk out that front door, just think for a second. Let me go back and check. Because sometimes we think we did it and we didn't. We have a pride screen door, mail theft, smashed glass window. There's not much you can do with that. Remodeling, they stole the tools of the workers when they left them there. A roof entry. Those are all just a couple days. So my message to all of you, because I need your help, Trent and Ron need your help, and everybody in between us who works Van Nuys. I need you to be the eyes and ears of your police department. We are only as effective in fighting crime as you allow us to be. In other words, we need your help. There's more of you out there. There's 3 of us here, we've got all of you. And I'm not asking you to break out your AK-47 if you happen to have one, or any of that stuff. I'm not asking you to do that. What I'm asking you to do is pick up the phone and dial 911. I'm asking you, if you live on a street here in Sherman Oaks and something starts to look kind of crazy, it's not an emergency, but it just doesn't look right. You've got a great couple of senior leads. Give them a call, send them an email, call the SLO office, or call the area office, call me. We'll get the information and we'll move on it. And we'll get you some answers. It's bad stuff, it's good stuff, whatever.